Good day and welcome to another exciting tutorial on the Super Data Science YouTube channel. This is the next installment in our custom chart series, and today we are looking at radial bar charts. You can see an example on the screen over here. We'll show you how to build our own example and a little surprise at the end to show you exactly what is possible and make it look excellent. Alright, so stay tuned. Right, firstly, let's have a quick look. So what a radial bar chart is, it's basically a variation of a pie chart. It shows the relationships of the part to the whole, but it can also combine subcategories, which will make it super powerful. Now, the method we're using today, I have to give credit to Rajiv Pandey. He developed this kind of method, and we will apply it in our own example. The data we're using is from Kaggle. We are using data from the biking in San Francisco information. You are able to get it there, although I have created my own file, which we'll use over here. It is based on that information, but we will be using this specific file. Let's have a look at what the file is. So in essence, we have the city, a trip, the trip duration as such, and the date. Now, this, as I mentioned, is a reduced to the file of the overall dataset, which gives the duration of shared biking schemes, basically the trips of shared biking schemes in the San Francisco Bay. Now we'll be analyzing to look at the total and overall trip duration in respect of the other cities. Right, let's get cracking. We'll basically be starting off with a fresh instance of Tableau, where we are joining to the text file. So it's the bike trip data. As you can see, there's all of the information, and we'll just be creating a union onto itself. It should populate all of our files. There we go. And you'll notice that now we've got double the records, and we need to create a path field, which would have a 0 or a 1 to be able to draw the line. So we'll start off with that by doing a calculated field based on the table name. So each record will either have a 0 or a 1, each duplicate record as such, indicating the start and the end of the line. And we will call this the path order. All right, how we'll just do this is a straightforward if statement, or if, where we say the table name, when it's equal to the first file name, which is the one which is showing initially, or firstly in any case. Then we will output a 0 to show the start of the line and a 1 to show the end of the line. And that should be fine for our, sorry, let me just close off the quotes. And that should be fine for our file. There we go, cool. Next we'll jump in and create the sheet. So here we do need to create a couple of prep measures, I should say, but we'll first start off by just dragging our path, because we don't want it as a measure, we want it as a dimension, and changing the sheet type, or the type of the chart, to a line, as we're using lines to draw it, and putting the path order onto path. All right, as I mentioned, we need to do some preparations, and we'll start off by creating two parameters. The first one is the radial inner, so that's the inner point of the inner circle, which the line will be starting to be drawn from, and we will give it a 0.5 to start off with, or 0.5. There we are. You can see it's showing at the bottom over there. If you can view it, you can see 0.5. And the next one, the next parameter we'll be creating is a radial outer. So that will also be the outer part of the line, and we'll make it a 1 for now. All right. Next is some further prep fields. So here we will start off by saying which field, and we'll just call this radial to keep with the convention, radial field, and we are actually looking at the trip duration, because we'll use this field later in our calculation. Next, we've got a few more to create, and what I'll do here is I've already prepared some of the, we can just close that down, some of the calculated fields already. As you can see, we'll first do the radial angle. Now, what this specific calculation does, it looks at what point you are starting to draw, so it will loop around the circle and find out what is the actual radial angle, or the angle at which it needs to draw. So we'll call this radial angle. Okay, as you can see, we use the pi function, and we also use a window count. All right. Next, if we create the next one, it is doing the normalized length. So I'll just copy that and I'll explain it. So basically we are using the inner point, and we are determining if it's the start of the line, it will start off at 0. However, if it's not, it would actually calculate what is the end point of that line, and also normalize it down so that if the line size do change, that we cater for that as well. And we'll call this the radial normalized length. All of these will make sense once we go into the detail and put the sheet together. For now, we'll just prepare them and then the fun can happen. All right, next is radial x. So radial x is basically the x point that we'll be drawing. And again, we've got this function over here where you literally take only the normalized length and basically get the point that I'm using the cos function of the angle to draw the point, the end point, or at least the point, which will either be the inner or the outer point. And we'll do the same for the y-axis. So we'll just create, oops, that's another parameter. We will be creating a calculated field, and we'll call this radial y. And you'll notice here we use the sine function. All right, now that fun can start. We've already put the path order into path, so that gives us a 0 or 1, which we'll be starting off with. Next, we'll take the radial x and put that into columns. And we'll take a radial y and put that into rows. We need to make sure that we also include the date, because we want to use the date to draw the circle. We'll put the date into the detail column. In this case, we want to use the continuous date, and we'll select that to make sure that works. And the next step is basically to just make sure that your radial x and radial y is computed using the date we've just added. Aha, there we go. It's starting to look like something. Firstly, we'll fix our axes. So let's just go into edit the axis, and we will always have it from a -1 to a 1. We'll do that on x and on y. So again, -1 to 1. And we can now also just fix the inside. So radial inner, can edit that and make it a 0.2. We might have to change this a little bit later again, but for now at least you can see what it looks like. We'll be using the city into color to make a distinction between the cities, and that would also add it to the detail. You can see our graph changing quite a bit. And in this case, I also just want to fix the color up, because I think we can make this look a little bit better by using summer and just assigning the palette, and at the same time hide our axes, change the background color to, let's use black. Aha, that starts looking good. And also start removing the grid lines that we've got on our sheet. Let's just take off all lines, because it would be quite annoying to have them on there. There we are. And the last thing that we can do also now is just to change the size of the lines, because we want to have a bit more granularity in our graph. And I think actually looking at it now, we will just go back and edit this back to 0.5 now that our graphs look slightly different. And there we go. That is our radial chart. Now let's just rename this our radial bar chart. And as I mentioned at the intro, we had a little surprise, or a way to make this look even better. Now let's just hide that while we're seeing this, is we are actually going to combine and make this a nice little dashboard to draw insights out, because at the moment you can see we can highlight and click and see what impact it was. But what I would think would be nicer is if we add in something in the middle over there, in this blank space we've got, and a map is going to work for that. So we start off by including city, and it's picking up unknown. So let's just have a look. I think it's because of my original settings, and we would just need to change this and say, all right, well, for the country, we'll be using United States, because we know this is information from the United States. And the state of the province is, let's just get there we go, is California. And now it should map properly. Right, to make this even a bit more exciting, what I have done is I have created, or actually got a picture from the internet and copied it, and using, let me just get to that quickly. Sorry, there we go. On the Finder, there we are. So I actually got in my Tableau repository, have in a custom shape a bike. You can just put it in that location, as you can see. And then in Tableau, you'll just change this to a shape. And on the shape, you would actually just go and look for the custom. Let's just quickly hit reload shapes. Go onto the custom, There we go. Click on the bicycle and go okay. It might not work first time always, but yeah, I actually clicked the wrong one. Click on custom bicycle and hit apply. As you can see, there we go. We're working with bicycles. Let's increase the size a little bit. There we go. We can use the city coloring, and we can also use the city name on top of it. What we can do with the name on the font color, we can just go to mark color and it would actually have exactly the same colors there. But I do think that keeping with the black and white theme, sorry, the black background theme that we've got for the radial chart, we'll do the same with maps. So we'll just go onto map, options, apologies, map layers actually, and we will just choose the dark color. And the only thing that we will leave over here is, let me just tick them all off, is in fact the actual roads. So let's use streets and highways. There it is. Now you can see we've got the two charts. Let's combine them. So we'll just use the radial one first. Let's just get the sizing right, because what I want to do is we'll remove firstly the title, and secondly we can change this. Now it's a bit of magic that we'll do. We'll change this into a floating item, which we'll have on top of the chart. There it is. Let's just fix the sizing first. Maybe a 1000 by 1000. No, let's do 900 by 900. Have a square one over there. And having that floating, we would just want to also make the font color white to be able to see what we've actually written. There we go. And the next one we'll do is to add in the actual map. Now the map needs to change it from tile to floating, otherwise we'd put it next to it. I just wanted to put it on top and resize it to fit in nicely. We can obviously hide the title, and at the same time we can actually just format this also and remove any borders that this might have, or any lines. Let's just quickly see if we can remove the lines first. And we will have to do the borders probably as well, and we'll do the borders. One more. I skipped one, it seems. It's not supposed to. There we go. The border was just a selection. And there we have it. You can see that we've got each of our cities with the responding colors, and our chart is done. As I promised you, that was it. This is how we can make our chart look very nicely, because we can, in the display view, we can click on San Francisco. Maybe what we'll do, let me just go out and just fix. Firstly, we don't want this tooltip and things popping up. We don't really want to see that. So on the map, we can just go to map options and untick all of these. And we have our map. Let's just do it in preview mode again. Have our map, and we can see which city we want to look at. If we want to look at San Francisco specifically, I forgot to tick the use as filter, and we'll just use as filter, so we can in our graph be able to click on a specific city. We'll do preview mode again on a specific city to show what graph that is. And you can see each city has a different pattern on this radial chart, and you can even use the highlighting to make it even look better. All right, well, that was our chart. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you liked the trick that we've got here in the end, and I hope that you will subscribe to our YouTube channel as well for some more further exciting custom charts. Remember, as always, you can get the data set on the Super Data Science website. And until next time,